You have been talking about that one center in the self which is unchanging. So basically, I'm a reader of philosophy. So my question is, the self is something which is unchanging, which is there forever. Even if the external body dies, the self which is there will go on continuing, the awareness, whichever it is there. But then I don't see it. Logically, if I talk about the mind, it is a pattern recognizer. So there's a separation between me and you in terms of experience. So what does my mind see? What does it experience? It says ki, okay, Krishna, your experience is totally different from Acharya Ji. So what it says ki, I am Krishna, this is me, I am an ESI student, I am a fourth year student. So there is separateness. There is ego which has been developed, which occurred naturally. Then why would I counter against that ego which has developed naturally? Isn't it unnatural to dissolve the ego which has occurred naturally?
Lovely question. The ego, you very rightly said, has developed naturally. What you mean is that there is the soil, and the soil, in the natural course of things, becomes the body. Right? The soil becomes the body, and in that sense, the ego is natural. But does the ego consider itself natural? That's the entire problem. The ego does not consider itself natural. It thinks of itself as the consumer of nature, not nature itself. Do I say I am the soil? No. I'll say I am the one walking on the soil, I am the tiller of the soil, I am harvester of the crop, I am the eater of the fruit. I'll never say I am the soil. I'll say I have a relationship with the soil. And what kind of relationship it is? It is an exploitative relationship. And that's a problem. The moment the ego comes to see that it is nothing but the soil, all kinds of fancies evaporate. Doership is gone. The ego is doership, right? And to do something, you must be separate from the field of doing. You see, if I say I'm doing something, then I'm acting on an object. Action requires an actor, the subject, and the subject has to act on an object. For any action, there has to be a separation between the actor and the object being acted on. And that separation is false. Because the object is nature and the subject also is nature. So there is no doership. There is no doership. You see, how do I put it? Seen the whole train of bogies following the engine, right? Now one particular bogie thinks it's the doer. Why? Because it's pulling the ones behind it. Isn't that false? Isn't that false? The ego does not realize that it is just one of the bogies. It thinks of itself as the engine. It thinks I am the doer, but you are not the doer. It's all happening in a very complex cause-effect network in the universe. You are nobody. So the moment you see you are nobody, it's all over for you. All over in terms of your suffering. Why? Because the whole suffering is, I am the doer and I want to do things and those things are not happening, so I'm unhappy. Moment you realize there is anyway nothing that you can do beyond realizing that you are not the doer. You are free. And then in that freedom, great things happen on their own. Because now you are liberated from the petty but impossible task of doing things for yourself. It's a petty task, but also very impossible. How difficult it is, for example, I'll give you a petty task. how difficult it is to protect a sand castle from falling. It's just a small sand castle, but you are told, protect it from falling for just 1 year. How difficult would it be? Very, very difficult. Because it is inherently vulnerable and fragile. That's what the ego is. It's a falseness. And the entire life the entire life we spend trying to protect the ego. We are trying to do the impossible. We are trying to defend the indefensible. Like that sand castle, which cannot be defended. It has to fall. But the human being spends 80 years of her life just trying to protect the sand castle. Now, in a fraction of that energy, you can actually build a real huge castle of marble and all kinds of stones and granite and everything. It might take just 2 years and far lesser energy. Think of it. Think of the energy it might have taken to build this entire infrastructure here. The institute buildings. It took a particular energy, particular kind of time. Now think of the kind of energy it will take to protect the sand castle. Protecting the sand castle will require greater energy. That's the ego. It cannot be protected, but we are trying to protect it, so all the energy is going wasted. Once you see it cannot be protected, then that energy flows in great directions and wonderful things get done. Because now you are liberated from the obligation to protect the sand castle. Now you don't have to do the impossible, so you can do all the great things that are possible.
So, sir, what would be the difference between ego and pride? Where do we draw the line?
Pride is a very minor thing when it comes to ego. Pride is about patting yourself in the back, feeling inflated for something. The ego is a much wider term. The ego is your very sense of the self. Ego is not pride, though that's how we colloquially use it. If someone acts in a puffed up way, then we say, oh, he is very egoistic. No. If someone tries to act very humble, even that is ego. Someone says, I have so much money. We say the fellow is being egoistic. But if someone says, I am nothing but a mere meek beggar, even that is ego. Even a simple statement, like I am a woman, or I am a doctor, or I am a questioner, even that is ego. Any statement of identity is ego. Ego, the word itself means I, identity. I am X. This is ego. And X could be anything. I am good, I am bad, I am rich, I am poor, I am man, I am woman, I am Indian, I am American. I am X. This is ego. This is ego. Identification with any X is ego.
Sir, so can you say reinforcement of that ego is pride? A part of...
Have you seen those who are always playing the victim? I am the one always being stamped upon and always being kicked around. They are some of the most egoistic persons. So, in the exact opposite of pride, there can be great ego. There is somebody who is kicking someone around. The one who is kicking somebody like this, you'll say, such an egoistic person. Yes, he might be egoistic, but the one who is being kicked around is equally egoistic. So pride in particular does not have anything to do with ego. Pride has only as much to do with ego as the so-called common kind of humility. Pride and humility, in the dualistic sense, are two sides of the same coin. And both sides are egoistic because in both there is I am X. I am X. I am the victim. I am the victimizer. I am the winner. I am the loser. Somebody says, I am the winner. You will say, pride, ego. No. Somebody says, I am the loser. That's every bit as much ego. I am X is ego. X could be anything, not just pride or success or victory or money or whatever. I am pretty. That's ego. I am ugly. That too is ego. To the extent that I am the body, even this is ego. In fact, this is the mother statement of the ego. I am the body.
Sir, and you also say to see the falseness of that ego. So right now, my mind, the base of the mind is ego. Whatever I'm doing is most of the stuff are coming from ego, the ahankara center point. So now if I question it and it will collapse, okay. But then the mind ka yardstick was that ego, right? So then it will
Center itself.
yeah. So then the mind will go to anxiety, like the anxiety will develop.
Who is saying this? Who is saying this?
The experience I have gone through.
No. See, you are the ego, let's say. Let's say you are the ego. Huh? And if I am saying from here, let's say this mic, this equipment is very dear to you because you're identified with it. Huh? So you say, I am the holder of the mic. So X equals holder of the mic. Huh? And I'm saying, you don't need to have any X whatsoever. Pure I am is liberation, freedom, joy, and bliss. But you are identified with the mic. For you, the mic is life itself, because I am X. Remove X and I'm dead, because I am X. Remove X, who am I? Dead, right? So I say, no, you remove this. What will you do? You'll say, if it is removed, I'll get anxious. Please don't remove it. I'll resist. You'll resist. Because you know only life as the holder of the mic. And remaining the holder of the mic, you are trying to speculate about life that is free of the mic. Who is speculating? The free one or the one in bondage? The intelligent. Who are you right now?
The holder of the mic.
And you are speculating about a future free of the mic. In that future, would you still be the same?
No.
Remember, these two always go together in dualistic pairs. If you have the mic, you are one person. And this person is probably rightly thinking that without the mic, I am dead. Because this and this go together. What this person is not realizing is that the moment the mic is gone, you too would be gone and there would be somebody else, because these two go around in pairs. That's duality. This one is afraid of losing the mic. Would that one be afraid? But you would be that one, so why are you afraid?
Okay.
A and B go together.
Okay.
When B goes, A becomes A dash. Now, A is justifiably afraid of losing B because AB is life. I am X. AB is life. I am X. What A is not considering is that when B would be gone, then A too would be gone and A would become A dash. And this A dash is not somebody who is going to be afraid. But remaining A, you are imagining a future without B. Remaining A, you are imagining a future without B. What you are not seeing is that without B, you will no more be A. So you will not be afraid. Only A is afraid. And that's what all these B's do to our life. We think we brought this into our life. No. Whatever you bring to your life changes you. And changes you in a way that makes you dependent on this. And then the argument you will advance is, if I lose this, then I'll die. No, sir, that's not your argument. That's the argument of this collective, joint, dualistic entity. And you see how this prevents us from taking right decisions? Do you see this? If I do that, what will happen of me? Sir, if you do the right thing, you will no more be the person who is afraid right now. Right now, you are the person who is not doing the right thing. That's why you are afraid. Once you get into the right thing, the person will change. And when the person will change, this fear will be gone. So why are you needlessly afraid on behalf of somebody else? What we are not seeing here is the flux that the self is, the ego is. The ego is an entity, not of itself, not absolute or independent in any sense. The ego is forever dependent on the mic, which means how you are and how you are presently surrounded and how your conditioning has been. That's what constitutes the ego. But we think of the ego as the absolute truth. We think of the ego as the pure self. We think of the ego as something that is not going to change. So it immediately changes. I'll give you an example. Let there be total darkness in this hall. And you are being told to enter this hall and you are very afraid. There are some sounds as well. There is darkness, pitch dark, and something is creating some sound, and you are afraid. You are afraid. Who are you? Right now, you are the one who does not know what is within. So you are afraid. You're saying, if I enter, I'll die. There must be some disembodied being here, some ghost, something, and I'll be killed. What if I switch on the lights? The ego has changed. You are now the knower. You are now the knower. Now where is the fear? Where is the fear? But you were being afraid on behalf of somebody else. What we do not realize is that the self changes. The self changes. We do not realize. We are needlessly afraid for the future. And that blocks a lot of right action. In fact, all the right action gets blocked only because of fear of consequences. No? Yes, I want to do the right things, but what if I starve? Sir, who is saying this? The one who is not doing the right thing is saying this. The one who actually does the right thing is neither afraid and nor does he starve. Do the right thing and see whether you are still afraid. You won't be.